You ever go back to a game you haven't touched in years, thinking it's just going to be a nostalgia trip, and then it hits way harder than you expected? That was me with Fallout 3. I went in expecting clunky combat, green filters, some quirky vault stories, and maybe a few good laughs at how broken it can be. But what I got instead was something heavier, something quieter, something terrifying. Not scary in the way horror games are scary, not loud or violent or gory, but in that quiet, creeping way where the world feels wrong. And you can't exactly say why. Fallout 3 doesn't try to scare you, but that's exactly why it does, because the most terrifying thing about it isn't the mutants or the ghouls, it's the silence, the loneliness, the feeling that everything meaningful already happened, and you're just showing up for the aftermath. Most games, even post-apocalyptic ones, are full of things to do. Side quests, towns, companions, loud explosions. Fallout 3 gives you dust. Decay. Long walks through nothing. With no one. You'll walk for minutes at a time without seeing a single living thing. And weirdly, that feels normal. It's a world that doesn't care about you. Not because it's cruel, just because it's empty. You're not the chosen one in Fallout 3. You're not the hero of prophecy. You're just some kid who left a vault looking for their dad. And the world doesn't respond with excitement or danger or meaning. It just keeps going. Quietly, indifferently. Even when you're maxed out and loaded with loot, you don't feel powerful. You feel tired, like you've just been surviving. It doesn't matter how much you've done. You always feel like you showed up too late to fix anything. The Capital Wasteland doesn't feel post-apocalyptic in the way most games present it. It feels post-human. It's not just ruined, it's rotting. The skies are a sickly green. The buildings aren't just collapsed. They're moldy, melted, and scorched. The people who remain are fractured. Raiders completely unhinged. Traders just going through the motions. Ghouls wandering like they forgot they were ever alive. Even when you find a little settlement or a safe zone, there's this sense of decay. Like people are just pretending society still exists. That if they build enough shacks and hang enough lights, maybe it'll feel like a town. But you know the truth. They know it too. I remember stepping into a house. No enemies, no loot. Just a skeleton at the table. A toy truck in the corner. No quest. No story. Just a family that didn't make it, and no one left to remember them. Fallout 3 doesn't always tell you what happened. It just lets you find it. Quietly. And that's somehow worse. And then there are the vaults. Every single vault in Fallout 3 is its own little psychological horror story. Not because they're full of jump scares or monsters, but because of what they say about people. You find audio logs, terminal entries, notes left behind by scientists who started off thinking they were in control and slowly realized they weren't. There's a vault where everyone is trapped in a fake 1950s simulation run by a sadistic AI. One where the air made everyone hallucinate until they went insane. Another where humans were mutated into super mutants like they were just ingredients in a failed recipe. And the scariest part? These weren't just accidents. They were designed. Somebody signed off on this. And you can't help but wonder, how far are we really from that? Because when I first played Fallout 3, all of this felt like fiction, like dystopian storytelling. What-if scenarios. But now, having lived through a few actual crises, Fallout 3 doesn't feel fictional anymore. It feels like a warning. You look around in real life, and suddenly it's not hard to imagine the water running out, the food being rationed, the rich hiding in vaults while the rest of us rot. We're already arguing over facts, watching systems collapse, numbing ourselves to disaster. And in Fallout 3, that's not backstory, that's just Tuesday. And here's the twist that hits me the hardest. You can still do good in Fallout 3. You can help people. Purify the water. Bring order to the wasteland. But it never feels like saving the world. It just feels like making it slightly less awful for a little while. Even the best ending feels fragile. You know the water purifier might break, that settlements might get raided, that the cycle will probably repeat. You did what you could, but the damage was done long before you got here. And that feeling, that's what sticks with me. Fallout 3 isn't a power fantasy. It's not a redemption arc. It's a slow realization that some things don't get fixed. That sometimes all you can do is survive, and maybe help someone else survive a little longer. And weirdly, that's so much scarier than anything with claws or teeth. I think the older I get, the more Fallout 3 hits me in ways I didn't expect. Because now I understand exhaustion. I understand what it means to live in a world that keeps getting louder and emptier at the same time. I understand the kind of fear that isn't urgent, but constant. Fallout 3 doesn't scare you while you're playing it, it scares you after. When you put the controller down and realize it wasn't the mutants that got to you. It was the silence, the slow unraveling, the realization that a world can collapse and people will just keep walking through the ruins pretending it didn't. So yeah, Fallout 3 still terrifies me, not because it wants to, but because it doesn't care if it does. And maybe that's exactly the point.